Hey guys, it's Takasta here again. Welcome to another video review. So today I'll be reviewing the glorious Model O gaming mouse, one of the most exciting gaming mice releases in recent years. I was able to get this mouse recently and was not able to review it earlier. There have been tons of reviews since commenting on the features, innovation, and the performance of the mouse. Some saying this is definitely an endgame mouse or one of the best mice to be made in a very long time. Glorious, a relatively new gaming company, took the best features of many previous mice and created something which I think is quite unique. I've used this mouse for a couple days now and did a lot of Dota gaming. I do not intend to do an in-depth review of this mouse. However, I will offer some of my personal thoughts of where this glorious Model O ranks in the new age of game mouse. And here's what you need to know. 1. Weight and shape. This mouse is an ambidextrous mouse, and it takes the form factor of the Zoe FK and the FK1 series, even though it has its own unique shape, but it's very similar to the FK. The profile is very low and is very suitable for gamers with small to mid-size hands. My hands are 19 centimeters from the tip to the base, so I found this mouse fairly comfortable for a more tip and a claw style grip. With a palm style grip, you can't really palm it as well if you have larger hands, so people with larger hands may not like this mouse as much. However, if you have smaller hands, relatively speaking, this mouse may be very comfortable. I always stress that shape is the most personal thing when it comes to a gaming mouse. If you're used to the larger G502, 602, the IE3, this mouse, while still very comfortable, may not be your endgame shape. As I personally said, I really like the FK shape, and this was a really nice refresh. Onto the weight. It uses a Honeycomb Design, which is taken from the Featherlight Ultralight series, making this a feathery 67 to 68 grams, depending on the coating. There seems to be a trend towards ultralight mice gaming things with the advent of the Final Mouse, G Pro Wireless. I would say that the lighter mouse makes it much easier to pick up and is less tiring with flick shots. However, for me personally, I play a lot of Dota and do like having a little bit more weight on the mouse, 80 to 90 grams. The reason for this is that the slightly extra weight gives it a bit more of a gravitational feedback, so I can kind of feel where I'm aiming the mouse, rather than focusing too much on the mouse on the screen. So this is more of a personal preference, and I do feel like you lose a bit, sort of that gravitational feedback when you don't have it. In no way am I bashing the trend of the lighter mouse, however my opinion is that you still need to find a mouse with the right weight and for your playstyle. The extreme example is, for example, if this mouse was only 20 grams but in the shape of FK1, you might feel like you're moving air basically, and there's no weight and gravitational feedback. So this is just more of a personal preference, and you do have to take note when using the Model O. Performance and other specs. 2. It uses a Pixar 3360 industry standard sensor, no mouse acceleration, but good tracking, 1000 Hz polling rate, and less than 0.7 millimeters liftoff. It uses your typical Omron 20 million switches, pretty common, pretty standard, and good gaming mice. The scroll wheel is fairly smooth actually, with very small notches from one scroll to the next. Very smooth per each notch. However, they have indented the texture of this wheel, so you can really feel the texture of it, but the wheel definitely glides very nice for sure. 3. Honeycomb Design. The Honeycomb Design is what started the whole trend of lightweight mouse, since they have a lot of holes at the back, have a lot of holes in the middle, and a lot of people who start drilling holes in just any random mouse. I'd like to note that while this is something that which not many of the other reviews have talked about, but with this Honeycomb Design, you do feel the texture in your palm when you're gaming it. This is definitely something that you can get used to, but not something that maybe people with a bit more OCD or people who like more smoother surfaces like. After a couple of days of use in gaming with this mouse, I can definitely say I got used to the honeycomb surface, but I think overall I still prefer a surface which is fully covered, just because it feels silkier on the skin. 4. Ascend cord. The cord is not something I talk about very much on a lot of gaming mouse. Usually it's either braided, non-braided, slightly flexible, not flexible. There's been a trend towards paracorded recently, and Glorious have attempted to make this happen on a stock mouse. You can never have a true paracord because of the shielding that needs to be put in terms of the electronic good sales regulations, but I can say that this cord is probably one of the best I've seen aftermarket, hands down. I can't even argue with that. It's very soft, very flexible, not rigid at all, and it's the closest thing you can get to a wireless / paracorded experience. It won't actually replace an actual paracord. I can note to you, and people do the paracord, and you've seen in the forums. However, this is much better than general stock mice that are out there in the market. 5. Feet. The feet are some of the best in the business and rivals any third market feet out there. They really put a lot of thought into this compared to the Hyperglide or even the Tiger Arc gaming feet. Feels pretty similar, and I don't think out of the box you really need any replacement, even though, as you guys all know, I do sell Tiger Arc feet. However, I will be, if you do want to paracord it or mod the inside or whatnot, I will be selling Tiger Arc feet for the Model O very soon, maybe in a week or two. But as for the stock feet, definitely I think it's pretty very good as far as it goes. 6. Price and conclusion. This is probably my biggest factor in terms of the glorious Model O. After all that, I think it's actually a very solid mouse, and if you didn't know the price point, you probably would have thought it's maybe $80, $90, but they do sell it for $49.99 and $59.99 for the matte and the glossy finish. This is by far the most shocking thing about this price point. Take the shape, the weight, pretty good build quality and performance, and this is definitely a bargain for at this price point, and even at a slightly more higher price point, I would love it. I gamed with this mouse for 4 to 5 hours. I kept looking at the mouse thinking, why do people think it's so good? Is it really that good? Have I evaluated this mouse critically? Would not I personally like it? My conclusion is that Glorious have made a very great mouse. At this price point, if you're a fan of the FK ambidextrous shape, this mouse could very well be an endgame for you. Great specs, shape, weight, cord. Can't really complain about it. Even if the FK shape was not your favorite, I think you owe yourself to try out this lightweighted ambidextrous gaming experience. Even if you didn't like it, it's really just $50 down the drain, or, well, you can always just resell it. Whereas you buy a G502 wireless here, $160, $150 down the drain, and that's a lot of money. My personal preference is that minor upgrade is if the mouse had a bit more of a weight, and if the honeycomb on the top was a bit covered, I think I would prefer that. I can definitely see myself breaking down this mouse from time to time and gaming with it, just because of the lightweight experience is pretty cool. Although it might not be my personal favorite or my daily driver, which I'm currently using the G Pro Wireless. I'm using the IE3 actually at work. So that concludes my review of the Model O. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Really impressed with Glorious Model O. Shout out to them, and hope you guys enjoyed that video review, and thanks for watching.